2 words, Media Watch, one man, James Creedon. Here he is, shaken but never stirred. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, Mark.
Okay, lots of people having a go at Greece, I imagine.
Gosh, well, let's have a look at the Greek tabloid, the German tabloid Bild. Now, they've done worse than any British tabloid could ever do by putting a naked woman on the front page. But we're not going to look at her. We're going to look
Good heavens.
what they're saying above it. This is, if we'll have a look, what they're saying here is we want a referendum too, because Greece was meant to have a referendum, but then the Prime Minister changed his mind, and take the euro off the Greeks. So that's a bit of Greek bashing if ever there was, and we no comment on what's below that headline. And then here, this is
was she linked to the story? No, that was okay.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so.
Let's
in
move
any
on.
case, this is the Huffington Post, the UK version of the website, because the Huffington Post is going global now, of course.
Yeah.
And Greece should leave the eurozone. They did a poll, and 77% thought that they should. 23% disagreed with that. I think polling the public on a question that is this technical and this complicated, when really most people aren't very well kind of informed as to the pros and cons of either situation.
I
it's a bit
suppose
pointless,
Ariana Huffington would say that her readers of the Huffington Post are so specialised and so technically minded that they can comment on these kind of things.
They know what they're talking about.
Decision makers.
Well, what about the readers of our website?
Well,
Mark?
they are informed.
They are very informed. This is the French website, but the English website also has this.
Yeah.
A lot of websites at the moment trying to simplify a very complex eurozone crisis. So you have one of these graphics here. It's interactive. You can click on it, try to understand how the whole thing started, cogs in the whole machine. The New York Times has done a very good job as well of tracking Europe's debt crisis country by country. They've got latest developments in each country, vital statistics, so that's pretty useful. Slate has done a good job too of explaining what exactly is involved in leaving the European Union, how that works, because the thing is, if Greece were to leave the euro, they would also have to leave the European Union, according to the European Commission. But they're explaining the process of how that works. You have to send a letter of initiation first to the European Council. It could be up to a 2-year process of wrangling. If at the end of that 2-year process, the European partners don't agree, you can still pull out and say, look, we're leaving the Eurozone anyway. From there on, you could perhaps hope to benefit from a situation like Switzerland that's having an association agreement, being in the European economic area.
The Swiss have a whole different sort of scale on this, don't they? They've got their own business, their own banks, the whole sort of way of doing things. Can I simplify it even more?
Sure.
You know the phrase, never borrow from Peter to pay Paul. Well, they said that because if you go bust, he doesn't get his money and he doesn't get his money. And that's simply the situation, isn't it?
And the thing is, we're in uncharted waters here. So I suppose whatever rules they had and whatever rules they're looking at here in Slate, it hasn't been done before. You know?
Okay. Is it time to move on to another topic?
Yes, I suppose if we have time to quickly have a look at
always time for you, sir. Carry on.
The News Exchange Conference 2011, Mark. It's on in Portugal at the moment in the town of Cascais. Now, this is a conference that takes place every year, looking at the news industry, how news is gathered, how it's shared.
What are the changes?
And well, the year we've had between the Arab Spring, all of the natural catastrophes that have been happening. Journalists have been very busy, and I suppose they're talking as well about how new methods are coming into the game. And a website such as this, Storyfull, is a new website that has been kind of on the go for about a year, 2 years now. It takes tweets, videos from YouTube, sorts through them and tries to find the best information. And actually, the founder of this website is a compatriot of mine. His name is Mark Little. Let's have a listen to what he said a few days ago about this.
When I started off, we were hacks, we dug for facts and we delivered them to a passive audience, and we were all about the scarcity of information. So now it's about the overabundance of information. 28 hours of YouTube videos uploaded every single minute. Now, how do you get the authentic video, the voice you must listen to, and raise it above the noise? So that's what journalism is all about.
I think it's right. How do you sift through everything and know that it's the right thing? But the basics in journalism, who, what, why, where, when, who, those issues, those questions remain the same, don't they?
That's it. And I suppose there's a lot of people saying at the moment, this has totally revolutionised the news industry. And to an extent it has. But I suppose it doesn't change those fundamentals. Just one tweet to show very quickly. There were 5,000 tweets per second referencing Bin Laden's death, 10,000 per second referencing Steve Jobs' death. So I suppose that's what maybe he's talking about, in the sense that there's a lot of information out there, a lot to sift through.
There's always been a lot of gossip, and we've always managed to find the stories between them. That's what I'd say. James, thank you very much indeed. James Creedon with Media Watch. Stay with us, got lots to come, including a round of the day's news and sport, including jail terms for the cricketers convicted over match fixing. That's coming next. Stay with us.